friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today I'm gonna do a video just answering your questions on kind of how some of this behind the scenes stuff works from my perspective. I don't have all the answers. Everybody does things differently on this platform. I'm just gonna give you kind of my input, my insight. I find these videos very interesting. I feel like there's this huge almost wall and stigma that creators shouldn't share tips or advice, which I think is very odd. And I've noticed lately a few people have been sharing more tips, and I think that's great. I know Smokey Glow did a video. I know Samantha March did a video. Those are the two off the top of my head that I'm thinking of, but I'll have anyone that I can think of that's done this type of video down below, because it's always cool to get more insight, especially if you're someone looking to maybe start a channel. It's cool to have some advice, because when I started my channel, I had no advice. I just kind of went in blind. Really quick before we get started, I did film this look for IGTV. It should be already up by the time this video goes up, but I will have my makeup details down in the description box in case you don't feel like watching that video. I asked for your questions on my Instagram stories and on the YouTube community tab. I got a fair amount of questions that had nothing to do with the topic, so those I'm not going to touch on, and I'm just going to try to answer as many as possible. I got quite a few questions, especially on Instagram. I got so many through that. I'll just get through as many as I can. I'm just going to try to hit on the most popular questions and the ones that I think are the most appropriate for this type of video, and we'll go from there. I don't feel like there's a right or wrong way to do things. Like, there's obviously things that are gonna help you more in the long run, but I'm not even someone who's like made it on YouTube or anything. I am a small creator, very small. I've grown a lot in the past like year, but I'm still a very small YouTuber, so I don't have all the answers by any means. These are just kind of my opinions and what I've learned thus far. Alright, how did I know what camera to get? So I use a Canon T5i DSLR. I purchased this a long time ago, like 4 years ago. I've had my YouTube channel for almost 3 years now. Probably about 3 years actually, because it was like April 3 years ago, so probably about 3 years. I bought this camera a year prior. I just heard through maybe a personal friend, maybe someone on YouTube mentioned that a DSLR camera is a good camera to have, so that's how I picked. This one was a good deal on Black Friday when I purchased it, and it hasn't really failed me so far. I still very much don't know how to use it. I'm not good at cameras, but I heard that a DSLR is good. I always get compliments that my quality looks nice, so I guess it's doing me okay for now. But that's how I didn't really know which camera to get. I just kind of took an opinion and ran with it. How do I edit my videos? This is a very popular question. I just use iMovie. I have a MacBook Pro. I just use iMovie that's free on the MacBook Pro. I feel like for what I do, I don't do anything that's that insane to edit. Like, I don't need anything fancy, so iMovie does the trick for me, and I'm just not at a point in my life where I can invest into a more exciting editing software. iMovie's doing just fine for me, so there's that. Ooh, I had to turn my fan down. I felt like I was blowing all over the place. Who was or is your inspiration to make a YouTube channel? It wasn't one particular person. Like, I really enjoyed watching YouTube videos for the most part in general, but I didn't have one specific YouTuber that I was like, you're the reason I'm making a channel. It was kind of just that I was posting makeup looks on Instagram and having fun with it. It was very not serious at all. I had literally like no following, maybe like 200 or 300 people. It was very small, and I just had friends in real life that were really encouraging me to start a YouTube channel, Zane included. So it was really just people in my personal life encouraging me to do it. It wasn't really one specific influencer or anything like that that encouraged me. How do I deal with hate comments? You're a goddess, love you lots. I love you, you're so sweet. The hate comments, that's been coming in way more than usual ever since the world started to fall apart, which I don't know if it's people just need to take their anger out on me or what it is, but yeah. I'm learning to deal with it. At first you go through a period where you're like, dang, my feelings are hurt, and then you go through a moment where you're like, dang, I can't please anyone, and that's fine, I accept it. But why are people the way they are? Why even say something when it has no value, no benefits? And now I'm just at the point where I don't really care. If you're on Twitter, I post some of the funnier ones on Twitter and we just kind of laugh about it because they're very stupid. I do eventually, once I have enough screenshotted, I want to do a video like reading mean hate comments because I think that would be really funny. But I don't know, you just have to kind of learn to laugh it off. It's hard when a huge influx of them happens at once because it's like, what is the point? Why am I even doing this? But I just really try to focus on the good. I get a lot of support and positivity, far more positivity than negativity, thank goodness. So I really try to focus on that. And YouTube has a little feature called hide. It's similar to block, but when you block someone, they can't comment on your videos. But when you hide someone, they can comment on your video and they think they're leaving a comment, but no one will see it. I will never get a notification for it. Literally nobody will see it. So it's as if you don't exist, but you don't know that. And if you're someone who's left me a very mean hate comments, there's a high chance you're hidden and you don't even know it. And it's so satisfying. How often do I film videos that I never post? Very, very, very rarely. I film so often and I upload so often, so I really have to keep this schedule. I literally can't remember the last time I filmed a video and didn't upload it. The only reasons I would do that are if maybe so many technical difficulties happened where like the video was so insanely annoying and I couldn't salvage it. Or maybe if some of the footage got corrupted in some way. That's really the only thing I can think of, because sometimes I do like a palette bingo and my look turns out tragic, which happened recently, but I still uploaded it because I think it's cool to see like when mistakes happen and just not everything is gonna turn out okay. I very rarely don't upload a video. What equipment do I recommend for filming? I mean, if you're just starting out and you don't have the budget to invest in stuff, I think as long as you have your phone, I always say do it on the back camera because that camera is better quality than your front camera. Use the back camera. You can set a mirror behind it so you can see what you're doing so you're not just totally blind. Sit in front of a window with really good lighting where the sun isn't just beaming in, but you want that good, just nice lighting. You can get away with just that for a long time. If you are looking to actually invest in stuff, I feel like having a good camera helps a lot. Again, I have a T5i DSLR. Can't tell you if that's like good or not. I'm doing okay with it. I'm a beginner and it's working fine enough for me and I get compliments. I have 2 softbox lights and that's pretty much it. But like I said, you could probably get away with your phone on the back camera and good natural lighting for a while if you needed to. Someone asked me which programs are the best for editing. I can't give a personal opinion on which ones I think are the best because I've only used iMovie, but I've heard really good things about Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and I feel like there's one more, but I can't think of it right now. But iMovie's doing just fine for me right now. What is one thing I wish I could buy for the betterment of my YouTube channel? That's a really good one. Probably lots of things. Like I'd really like to get a little light to go behind me to light up my background a little bit more, which isn't crazy expensive. It's just not something that I've invested in. I'd like to even maybe get a couple lights to go on the sides of me that are more high up to light me up more, but I don't think my lighting looks horrible. I'd like a better microphone, like a really good microphone. Mine's very cheap, but it does the job. It's a Trackstar microphone, just because I know that's gonna be a question later. But I don't know like specifics on things that I want to do to better my YouTube channel, just like little things here and there that I wanna add and upgrade. Which videos tend to do the best and worst in my experience? Well, you know what? Let's just go to my channel right now and look at my most popular and least popular. Well, I can tell you right now without even looking, my most popular videos are for sure my eyeshadow palette collection videos. When I did one a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and then I did another one like 6 months prior, both of them got over 20,000 views. None of my other videos even touched 10,000, so those do the best. Ranking my eyeshadow palettes got 9,000. Oh, this random testing the KVD Super Brow Pomade from a year ago got 9,000. Products I regret buying, palettes on my wish list. Certain first impressions do okay, but for the most part, people like to see eyeshadow palette collections and people like negativity. Like if you have something that's like products I regret, people eat that up, which is very unfortunate. I feel like without even scrolling to the bottom, I feel like my least popular are my vlogs for sure, which is partly why I stopped doing them. But vlogs don't get very many views. Tag videos are a hit or miss. Sometimes tags get a lot of views, sometimes they get hardly any. I feel like those are the two for as far as like the worst for my channel. How much time does it take me to edit and what do I use? Well, I use iMovie. How much time does it take me to edit? It totally depends on the video. If it's just like a 15-minute tag video where I'm just chatting and answering questions, that video probably only took me about half an hour to edit, probably another half an hour to an hour to upload, just depending on how long it takes to upload. Something like my eyeshadow palette collections take hours to edit because it's so much footage I have to go through. My 3Lux1 palettes take a really long time because total it's usually probably at least an hour of footage and I have to chop it down and make it more concise. Something like this will probably take me a while because it's going to be a lot of me looking down at my phone, reading a question, forming an answer in my head, and then spitting it out at you. So this video in particular will probably take me, I don't know. I feel like a good general rule is however long the video is that you're seeing, times it by 2 or 3, and that's probably about how long it took me to edit, for the most part. Oh goodness, how do I balance uploading and the rest of my life? Ooh, well right now, my life is just consumed by YouTube since I'm not working. When I'm having to work, it's literally just a constant like, wake up, usually go to the gym, film, work, sometimes work then film, sometimes film, work, and then film again. Editing somewhere in between. It's just a lot of work. When I'm working in my salon and I'm doing YouTube stuff, I usually work at least 50 hours a week, sometimes pushing 60. I try not to let it get over 50 anymore. I used to work too much, but it was literally consuming my entire being and I couldn't take it anymore. It's a lot. I don't even necessarily say I have the balance down pat. It's a day-by-day thing. I actually track the hours that I spend working, whether it's for YouTube, social media stuff, or if it's for the salon, and I try to keep track day by day on how many hours I'm spending working, because if it hits like Friday or Saturday and I've already hit like 48 hours, I know maybe I should take the next day off from filming. I'm probably working a little too hard. How much do I make from YouTube, and at what point is it possible to make a living from it? I'm not going to give you exact numbers because finances is a very personal thing, but I will say the money I make is not anything I can live off of. Like the fact that I'm home and only doing YouTube, this does not substitute my portion of the income for my husband and I. This is very small, very minuscule. If anything, it like helps pay for groceries. Maybe it helps pay for the internet bill. Little things like that. It's nothing major. To put it this way, I said this in my Q&A recently with just regular Q&A, I usually can make more in one day in my salon than I can in 1 month on YouTube, for the most part. Yeah. And as far as at what point is it possible to make a living out of it, that's not a question I can answer. Everybody's needs and finances are different. I know some people are able to just pretty much start right away if they have a partner that's able to help sustain both of them. Some people wait a lot longer. I don't know if I would ever quit my job and do YouTube full time, but it's hard for me to say because I don't know what the future looks like. YouTube is like the least consistent job you'll ever get. And then being in the salon, it can also be really inconsistent because some months I have a lot busier of a month than others. But for the most part, like I can see my clients, I have regulars, I have routine. I have a more general idea of how much I'm gonna make in the salon, whereas YouTube, sometimes AdSense is great, sometimes it's not, sometimes your video gets a lot of views, sometimes it does not. It's very inconsistent, and I can't tell you exactly when you could make a living from it. That's totally just like up to you to decide. I get enough sponsorships, I get enough views where the AdSense is pretty consistent. I could quit my job, but that's totally a personal thing. I could never tell you when that could happen. Do you find that certain content does better with the algorithm, or is it just based on the audience? Kind of going back to my most popular videos, I feel like the YouTube algorithm pushes out eyeshadow palette collection videos and anything relating to even slight negativity, whether it's unpopular opinions or products I regret buying, things like that. People really like seeing that stuff, so I think YouTube kind of pushes that stuff out more. But I think it just depends, because I get really surprised at some of the videos that do better than I thought they were going to. And then there's videos that I really thought were gonna do great and they just do only okay. It's a huge mystery. That's kind of where the inconsistency comes in. Oh, and you said love you in your videos. You're so sweet, love you too. How long does it take me to film and edit? Filming, it totally depends on the video. Like a simple tag video can sometimes only take me like 25 minutes to film, but a video like this I'm probably gonna have, I'm just gonna guess, at least 45 minutes to an hour of footage, if not more, depending on how invasive these questions get. In editing, I kind of touched on that before. Just multiply my video times 2 or 3. That's about how long it took to edit. Uploading's a whole other game. And then you also wanted to know my exact lighting setup. I just have 2 softboxes right here. I keep my main light in this room off because I feel like when it's on, it's just too much right here because it's literally right there. I do have a big window right here, but the natural light kind of fluctuates. Like right now it's really gloomy, so it's kind of just neutral out there, which is kind of my preference actually. When it's really bright and sunny, it can throw things off. Sometimes if it's too bright, I shut my shades. For the most part, I just rely on my 2 soft boxes. How do I stop myself from playing with my cats in every video? That's funny. For the most part, they're not in the room when I film, because if I let them in, then they're gonna wanna scratch and leave. So I just usually don't invite them in. And if they are in, they're usually sleeping. What are my favorite YouTube videos to make and watch? That's a really good question, actually. My favorite videos to make are 3 Licks 1 Palettes. I really like Q&A style videos like this. I like collection videos. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting. Those are the 3 that are popping in my head. I like filming pretty much all of the videos I like filming. If I didn't enjoy filming it, I probably wouldn't. And then my favorite videos to watch, I really like just chatty videos. I like having someone in the background to just listen to, chat. I like tutorials, but I don't always have the time to like sit and actually watch one. So if it's more of a chatty get ready with me kind of situation, I like that because I can listen to it. I like new makeup releases videos. I like things like that. How do I schedule my filming, editing, and uploading? Do I use a calendar app, etc.? I have like a big list of notes in my phone, and I have all the days of the month, and then I have a rough idea of what I want to upload on each day. When I'm working and I'm not uploading every single day like I'm aiming to right now, I have scheduled days off so I can make sure I keep up with that, because if I don't schedule the days off, I overwork myself, so I have to pre-schedule them. And then I just kind of work it in there. I use little emojis to check off if I've filmed, if I've edited it, and if I've uploaded it so that they're ready to go. I move my schedule around a lot though. I'm constantly like moving things like, oh, I want to prioritize this now. Oh, I actually don't really want to film this anymore. Things like that. I have a lot of notes in my phone, essentially. I also have a whole other list of just video ideas in general. Do I ever just scrap videos because I'm too low energy or the video isn't coming out right? No, I mean, there are days where I seem more mellow because sometimes if it's early morning and I am working and there's people sleeping, sometimes I'm a little bit quieter, but I don't feel like that's worthy of me scrapping the video, because sometimes it's either I film that morning a little quieter or I don't film at all, and you guys would usually prefer having a video, I think. But I feel like, again, the only times I'm going to scrap a video is if I had just like way too many technical difficulties in it. Does Zane watch my videos? You know, I don't really think so, but it's also not like his content. Like, he doesn't care about makeup. How many hours a week do I spend doing YouTube? Well, lately, since I've been like YouTube's been my life since I'm not working. Like I said, I keep track of my hours. I've been spending roughly 25 to 35 hours a week on YouTube. I'm spending a lot of time on YouTube. When I'm working and doing YouTube, probably closer to 20. Probably closer to 20, because I feel like I spend between 30 to 35 hours in the salon, so put that together, that's like 50 to 55. So probably about 20 when I'm working. 25 to 30 currently. If you have softboxes, how important is natural light? I feel like it can help, but I don't think it's totally necessary for me personally in this specific room the way things are. Like, I could probably shut my blinds right now and it probably wouldn't make too much of a difference, but I'm also very much just teaching myself and learning as I go, so that's the best answer I have for you. Do I sit or stand while filming? Can you imagine if I was just standing right now? I would be swaying so much. I would not be able to do my makeup if I was standing. I like to sit so I can stay like still and in frame. How do you get good lighting? If you're keeping it simple, just finding like a really good window in your house that lets in the natural light without the sun directly going into it. You want it where, like, say the sun rises like this, you don't want a window that's right here. You want one that's on one of these sides so you don't get that direct sunlight, in my opinion at least. How do or did you handle the thought of people you know IRL knowing you have a YouTube? Well, I didn't really keep it a secret. Like, I posted about it on my personal Facebook when I first made one because it was people in my real life that were encouraging me to do it. But like in my salon and stuff, when I'm chatting with my guests, I don't really like tell them like, hey, just so you know, I have a YouTube channel, you should watch it, because I don't know, I just don't want to self-promote like that. It's kind of weird. But I have some guests that are like, hey, I saw you have a YouTube channel, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah. I just kind of shrug it off. I'm like, thanks. It's like a little awkward, but it's not as awkward as it used to be. I'm kind of used to it now. I've been wanting to start a channel for a while, but it's scary. How did I finally do it? I just did it. I think I had like 2 or 3 videos filmed before I finally like posted one, because I didn't like the way the first couple came out, and you're never gonna like the way your first few videos come out. I promise you. You're gonna be awkward. Things are gonna be weird. It's a learning process. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get talking to a camera. It's hard to stop looking at the viewfinder. It takes a while to get used to only looking at the camera, but it's just things that come with practice. I say just do it, honestly. What's the most frustrating aspect of creating a video? Either background noise coming in from right outside my window, because I live on a road that lots of emergency vehicles like to take. So constantly I have to stop and let the emergency vehicles go by, or sometimes someone's mowing the lawn and decided to start as soon as I'm filming. You guys see that all the time. It's really frustrating. That, or if my camera decides to play me and there's like lots of out of focus stuff. but it's never that bad that it can scrap the video. And like I said, sometimes it's either you get a video that has some out of focus spots or you don't get a video at all. And most of the time you guys would choose having a video. What's the most satisfying aspect of creating a channel? I think the most satisfying is when I get really nice comments and really nice DMs from people just saying how much I inspire them to play with color and how they've learned a lot from me and how much they appreciate my videos. It's so heartwarming to hear those comments that like I'm actually helping people learn and helping them feel good. That means more to me than like anything. Do you feel like your channel has helped with your self-confidence in any way? I feel like it has. It's helped me kind of learn more of who I am, what I like, what I stand for, how to stand up for myself, how to ignore stupid comments, learning how to not necessarily comment back to every single comment if it's not necessary, and like if someone says something negative, like I don't have to say anything back. I don't know, I feel like it has helped my self-confidence. It's just hard to put into words how or why. I don't know if that makes sense, probably not. What kind of videos do you like to edit and hate to edit? I hate editing collection videos because there's just a lot of cutting I have to do. It takes a long time. I really like editing get ready with me's and tutorials and things like that. I think those are my favorite to edit. Would I ever consider doing vlogs again? Probably not, just because a couple reasons. One, clearly they aren't popular. Like, you guys don't really like to watch them. I know a few of you do, but as a majority, you guys don't want to see those. You want to see makeup content from me. And on the other hand, I don't know, I felt like it was getting to the point where I felt like you guys were knowing too much about me. I should keep some mystery to myself. I should keep some aspects of my life just to myself. You guys don't need to know every little thing about my life. It started to get to the point where some people were making, like, I don't know, like you guys were assuming stuff about me. Not all of you guys, but some of you guys were just like making assumptions and just saying like, I don't know, I just felt like you knew too much. It was weird. Does watching the whole ad help YouTubers? The whole AdSense thing is pretty big of a mystery. We don't know exactly how it works. You don't get a manual on like, this is what AdSense means and how you get paid. As far as I know, watching the whole ad helps, but I can't say for sure. But I'm pretty sure yes. Do you like to record in a specific time of the day, or do I record when I feel inspired? Well, when I'm working, I record when I have time. It's not that I can't really pick because I have to do it around my work schedule. Now that I'm at home, I like to do it either in the morning or early afternoon. Today, for instance, I did it late morning right before lunch, and then I ate lunch, and now I'm filming again because I just felt like doing some more filming. For the most part, I like to do it at the beginning half of the day. I don't like to do it in the later half. Did I always use the camera I have now, or did I use my phone starting out to film? I never used my phone to film. I had my camera about a year before my channel just because I wanted a nice camera to take good makeup pictures and also just to have. I've never had one in my life, so I never started out with a phone, but I definitely don't think you have to have a nice camera to start with, especially because phone cameras have gotten better. How does the money you get from ads work? Is watching ads the best way to support you? Again, I don't really know how the money from ads works. It's very inconsistent. Watching ads monetarily is the best way to support me, but as far as just general support, the best support you can give is just watching, liking my videos, commenting on my videos, giving interaction and engagement. And I also just appreciate you when you chat with me. It's really nice. How do you get in contact with other YouTubers to make collaboration videos? Well, I feel like it helps to form kind of a friendship with them first. Like, I would never just DM someone who I've never interacted with before. I feel like that could be kind of weird, and I would be kind of weirded out if someone asked me to collab and I've like never interacted with you. I feel like just chatting with them, getting to know them, forming a little bit of a friendship or at least an acquaintanceship, and then just asking. And it helps to have kind of an idea on hand. You don't want to approach someone and be like, do you want to collab? And then they're like, yeah, sure. What do you want to do? And you're like, I don't know. Like, you should have at least somewhat of an idea of what you'd want to do with that person. How do I film my IGTV tutorials? The same way I film my regular ones. The only difference is with my regular ones, I have the camera zoomed in a lot more so you can see me. With my IGTV ones, I have the camera pretty much as far back as it is right now because it gets zoomed in and cropped up to fit that little box. But I just do that. Filming those videos was really fun because I don't have to talk and I can just like watch YouTube or listen to music while I do my makeup. How do I take my Insta pics? I use the same camera. I just put it on the portrait setting, which I actually keep it on for my videos as well because that's what someone told me to do. Right on this wall, I have a very cheap backdrop stand from Amazon with clamps on it. I have a cheap piece of fabric from a fabric store. I have it stretched out, and I have a really cheap chair, and I sit in the chair. I face the soft boxes to that, and I take my picture. And that's it. It's nothing that fancy. What made me choose softboxes versus a ring light? I like the effect of softboxes more personally. I feel like the lighting isn't as harsh. I feel like sometimes with a ring light it can be very harsh and direct, which it works great for some people. Some people swear by ring lights, but I'm a softbox person. I think that's my only reason though. I don't have a really deep reason. How hard is it to set your camera's settings so that the colors are pretty true to life? I keep mine on auto for the most part, and I feel like with my combination of lights and this camera and the way it does its settings, I feel like it does just look pretty true to life. I don't have to mess with it too much. If I were maybe in a different setting, I would have to fight with it more. But where I am right now in this moment, it seems to do fine just being on its own. Sometimes if things look too washed out in post-production and I feel like things looked too light or something like that, I'll edit the coloring a little bit while I'm editing the video, but only just a little bit just to make things look more true. But I never have to do anything major. How did I find my niche? I mean, I knew I was into makeup, so I kind of did that when I first started my channel. You could look back at my older videos. I just did very basic tutorials that really everybody was doing. About half a year to a year after I started my channel, I kind of realized, why am I doing such normal things? I like color. I like weird color combinations. I don't want to just do the normal. So I just kind of switched my content up to being more colorful and then more grungy and things like that. And I just kind of stuck with it. I just kind of picked what I like doing, what makes me the most happy, what I feel the most passionate about. That's going to be your best bet, is just doing what makes you the most you. Don't try to follow in footsteps of people per se, in the sense like don't try to copy people. Try to be yourself as much as possible. What do I think is more important, good lighting or a high quality camera? Going back to what I said before, I feel like as long as you have like a good window, you could get away with using your phone for a long time. However, I feel like if I just turn these lights off right now and use my camera, I don't think this video would look very good. I think lighting is very important. What programs have I used or do I use to edit my videos for YouTube and Instagram? Well, I went over YouTube already. For Instagram, I edit the core video on iMovie, and then I bring it into an app called InShot to scrunch it down to the right dimensions and add like text and things like that way. But for the most part, I use iMovie for everything. What content creators are you friends with? I mean, you could probably just go onto my Instagram and see like who I'm following and who's following me, who I interact with the most, who I've done collabs with, because I would sit here all day if I listed everybody out. How did I grow my subscribers and do I have any goals for the year? As far as YouTube, my only goals are just to like stay consistent and hopefully grow, but I don't have like a specific number in mind. How did I grow my subscribers? For the longest time, it stayed super stagnant. It just stayed at like 1,500 forever, and it took me a long time to even get to that number. I only started really growing about a year ago, and I went from like 2,000 at the beginning of January last year to over 10,000 by the end of the year. So that grew a lot. I don't know how much more it's going to grow this year. It'd be cool if it did the same. It'd be cool if it did even more than that. But at the same time, I don't want it to grow too fast because that's when more hate comes in and that's intimidating. But how I grew my subscribers, I guess, was just staying consistent as much as possible. I try to post as often as I can. I post at the same time every day for the most part, unless I have a collaboration that interferes with that. I try to be really consistent on Instagram as well to kind of keep them balanced. Consistency is key in my opinion. Are there certain videos that you want to make but don't because they don't do as well in views? Not really. Like, I could say vlogs, but I'm not really interested in making those anymore, so that doesn't really concern me. How far in advance do I plan my content? I have my list already started to like the end of May. It's not finalized, of course, things change all the time, but I have like rough ideas planned for a very long time. When I was working, did I film every day before work or just some days? Pretty much every single day, usually between 5 to 6 days a week. What differences are there, if any, between how you do your makeup on camera versus when I do it without filming the look, especially lighting wise? You must not understand that I film like every look. I get a lot of people that'll ask me to film like my everyday makeup look or what looks am I wearing off camera. I don't do my makeup if I'm not filming it, hardly ever. I rarely think of a time that I'm doing my makeup and not filming it. So there's no difference because that doesn't happen. And even like when I do my makeup and I'm not filming it, like say I'm just like spontaneously doing something with a friend and I don't have time to film it, like I still turn these lights on because I like the way they brighten up the room. Is there any makeup product that does not work on camera? I don't know what that would be. I can't see why a product would work in real life but not on camera. If any of you that have channels have a product that doesn't work on camera, let me know, and let me know why, because to me that doesn't make sense. And then this final question is just, was there one specific or maybe a collection of videos that helped my subscriber count grow? Love you and your channel. Love you. Thank you so much. I can't think of like one specific video. My eyeshadow palette collection videos, especially the last two, definitely helped give me a boost, but not so much that I'm like, that's the video that did it. I'm gonna do this video every month to gain my subscribers. Because like I said, there's a lot of inconsistency. It just depends. It's luck of the draw. Sometimes I gain 5 subscribers in a day. Sometimes I gain 100 subscribers in a day, which does not happen often, but once in a while it does, and that's very overwhelming. Okay, well, these are all the questions that I have to answer. Hopefully I touched on all of your questions. I tried to stay as to the point as possible for the purpose of this video. I hope any of this advice helps you. Maybe it just clears up any questions you had in your head, and if you are wanting to start a channel, I say just go for it. The worst that happens is you decide you don't like it and you never upload another video. But for the most part, I think it's a very fun outlet. If you take it as seriously as I do, it's a lot of work, but it can also just be a lot of fun. You don't have to be a maniac like me and upload all the time. You could do it more casually. When I first started, I only uploaded like once every week to 10 days to 2 weeks. It was very inconsistent. I just kind of did it when I felt like it. And you can totally do that too. You don't have to treat it like a job right away or anything. You don't even ever have to treat it like a job. I love it so much, so I like to post as much as possible. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end of this lengthy video, leave me a camera emoji. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's BeatMe and follow me there. I post every single day. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.